Hi friends, this is tech expert Neil and you are watching HowISolve.com. This is an update video of my new TCL C6K TV which I bought during the Flipkart's BBD sale. Previously I had made a video regarding the top 3 models that I'm looking to buy in the upcoming Great Indian Sale and Flipkart's BBD sale. So in that the number 1 preference was I gave to Sony Bravia 2 and the number 3 was TCL C6K. So I went with TCL C6K or Q6C because I did more research and I found out that the technology used in C6K or Q6C is much superior compared to Sony Bravia 2. Today I'll first of all break down all the pros and also I'll dig down into the cons. This is a 1-month update video. I bought it around 22nd September and the price that I bought it at Flipkart was 38,700. So this I bought for my own personal consumption and I'm sharing this review so that you can also purchase the best budget mini LED TV that is available at present in the market. So without wasting much time, let's get started. So first I'll cover the pros and later on I'll cover the cons. The first pro is obviously the price, the budget at which it comes, that is around 45,000 and below. This is the festive sale. But in normally also, if you check the current listing price at Flipkart, as you can see, the current listing price at Flipkart is just 46,000. But with some offers, you will get it below 45,000. And at that price, this is the best TV that is available at present. So that there's no doubt about it. There are several cons to it, but given the price, you will not get a better TV at this price point, especially mini LED TV. And why I'm focusing on the mini LED is because main advantage of this TV comes from this technology itself. So now let's look at the main technology difference, that is the mini LED. So mini LED is basically the backlight technology of the TV. Any normal LCD TV has got two parts. One is the actual technology which gives the picture, that is the LCD panel. There are two types of panels at present. One is the IPS panel and another is the VA panel. And in VA also there is an HVA panel, which is, in this case, this is an HVA panel. We'll cover the details of the panel later on, but at present let's focus on the backlight. So in mini LED you can see this is a schematic diagram and the main change is the size of the LED and how the light is being distributed. In mini LED TV there are thousands of small LED lights lined across the LCD panel. The main purpose of the backlight is to brighten the image that is generated from the LCD panel that is just in front of it. So mini LED TV, you don't require a diffuser to diffuse the light evenly throughout the panel. Because of the small LEDs, you can control the brightness in each section of the screen independently of the other. Whereas in direct LED lit TVs, that is the Sony Bravia 2 for that matter, it has got a diffuser. So it's basically a plastic sheet, white plastic sheet like you get in your tube lights and bulbs that diffuses the light evenly throughout the screen. So in that you do not have different sections that goes off and on depending on the scene. So the LED lights are bigger and they heat up more because of the size of the LED bulbs. Whereas in mini LED the size is small, so the heat generated by each individual LED light is small. Because of that, one difference is the heat is spread out evenly in mini LED, whereas in direct LED TV there are heat spots and that causes a degradation of the LCD panel quicker compared to mini LED. So if you are planning to use your new TV for a very long duration and you are planning to use it excessively every day, then mini LED TVs will provide you a better life compared to a direct lit LED backlight because of the even heat distribution provided by the mini LED TV. And apart from that, the other main advantage of mini LED comes in the picture quality. Because we can now switch off certain sections of the LEDs independently of each other. So that is basically what it is called as dimming zones. And in this particular TV, this has got around 180 dimming zones. So that increases the video's dynamic range as well as the level of blacks that can be shown on a mini LED TV is way greater compared to direct lit LED TV, because the LED lights are always on in direct lit TV. So even a LCD panel which is showing a black color is being lit through the backlight at that time and that black turns into gray. That is not the case in many LED TV, where when there's complete darkness in a large section of the screen, then the particular zone is switched off completely. So there is absolutely no light behind that dark LCD panel. So that dark becomes really black, and in this case it becomes gray. In LED TV, it results in a very great contrast, and if you pair it with a high contrast panel like a HVA panel, then that enhances the already good contrast from the mini LED TV several times. So in short, a mini LED TV with the HVA panel will give you a very good contrast ratio and high dynamic range images, which is not possible to be displayed on a direct lit LED TV. So now that's quite technical what I'm telling. Basically now I'll show you videos which highlight this difference. So here you can see a very beautiful image. It's a 4K video of fireworks, and you can see this part. This is completely dark. There is no light coming from the panel. Where the crackers are bursting, it's very bright, and you can see the dynamic range from this particular video itself. And the other issue with mini LED TV was that it causes blooming effect. In fact, TCL was the pioneer of mass production of mini LED TVs. So they know exactly how to handle the problems of the mini LED panel, and the issue of the haloing is completely alleviated. They have changed the LED design. They have added an extra lens in the LED so to focus the light so that it doesn't create a haloing effect, which is normally the case in mini LED TVs. And apart from that, there is no dirty screen effect whatsoever in this panel. This can be a bit of luck also, but there's less chance of getting a dirty screen effect in a mini LED TV, again because of the mini LED backlight. The backlight is evenly present across all the screens, so you do not need a diffuser, and a diffuser sometimes causes the dirty screen effect. Since the brightness is quite high, there's very little chance of a dirty screen effect, initially at least, when you just bought the TV. And that's the case in this. I'll show you the completely white screen. There is no difference in the brightness across the whole screen. Like you can see over here, this quite bright image, and you can see there is no darkness. Normally what is the case in Sony Bravia 2, you'll get darkness around the corners. And that is, I think, because of the diffusers that they are using, because this defect is not present in particular TV. Across all the TVs in that particular model, that's the Bravia 2, even Mark 2 and the updated one also. And all the four corners you will see there's dimming, there's light is not coming fully, there's darkness across all the four edges. That problem is completely not present in this. And see the brightness of this TV. You can see that sun is actually looking like the sun as you see with your real life. It's so bright. And the shadows are also quite visible. The details in the shadows are also visible. So that's the dynamic range. You can see the details across this over here. So this is what I was talking about, the dynamic range, that is because of the mini LED backlight and combined with the HVA panel. Now again, one more pro from the mini LED backlight is the durability, which I just spoke before. But let me tell you about a test which is being done by, I don't know how it's pronounced, but rratings.com. So basically this particular test they are conducting for at least, I guess, 3 years, almost 3 years. Let me check. Yeah. So the month 30 is running. So this test, they are doing intensive stress testing of hundreds of TVs. So they are putting the TV continuously on in a very intensive cycle, like around 12 hours of daily TV watching at the maximum brightness. And based on that, they are projecting that how long a TV will last, like 10 years, 15 years down the line. So if a TV lasts for around 2.25 years with this type of testing, then it really will last like 10 to 15 years ideally. So you can see this is the status of this test, which is running at present still. And you can see Amazon TVs are gone for the toss. Hisense are also gone for the toss. You can see some Hisense are still, this is supposed to be white screen. So this is the condition of after the stress test. It's almost yellow. This is a bit better. But the reason I'm showing you this test is because I want to compare how Sony is performing with compared to TCL. And these are some LG OLED models. We'll skip this. We'll start with the Sony section. Samsung is also doing comparatively well. We'll straight away go to Sony as Sony TV comes here. So you can see this is the condition of Sony OLED TVs. And this is normal for OLED TV. If you run same channel every day, then there'll be burn-ins. But that is not what I'm talking. I'm talking about this TVs, like this OLED TV is gone. And this went quite quick, like around 2400 hours. After that itself, it stopped working. So this also stopped working around at the 2 years mark. This is Sony X800, and again this around just 2 years 1 month, Sony X90J. and Sony X95J stopped working in less than 3 to 4 months with this testing. So this is the condition of the Sony. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 Sony TVs have stopped working before the 2 years mark or just after the 2 years mark. So you can see in TCL's case, there is only one TCL TV that stopped working, and the condition of the other is not quite great, but a complete failure happened after 2 years mark for just one TCL TV. So there are several people in India that say that TCL does not make very good TV, like they are producing low quality products, and that was the case previously. They shipped in India TVs that's a very budget range, and they did not focus on the quality, and certain people have got very bad experience with it. I agree with that, but these TVs which are at present being shipped, these are international variants and they are not low quality products. They are as good as the TVs which they provided in the US market. So if you compare this US market longevity test of TCL, they produce quite high quality TVs. They are not low quality budget TVs, and they run for quite a long time. So that was the basic crux of what I want to get from this R ratings testing. So it's not like Sony TVs always works more than TCL. It's not the case. In the budget range TVs, Sony TVs have also not lasted for 2 years within the warranty period, or for some tragic customers, TV just lasted for 2 years, 1 month just after the warranty period lapsed. So it's not like the case that TCLs are very bad quality product. And specifically, I'm talking about this particular model, TCL C6K, which is a great product, mini LED TV. And you should get very good long-term life from this TV based on the technology stack and based on other high-quality TVs that TCL has produced in the past. So from the standpoint of longevity, TCL also wins this compared to Sony Bravia 2, or for that matter, even LG Samsung TVs nowadays in the lower range are giving edge lit TVs, which is like several years old technology. And even if that technology is not considered, the edge lit TVs have been proven through this testing itself that they are basically designed to fail. I'll show you the article, the exact article, link you down in the video description. But here is the testing that they have done. From the testing, it's been clear that edge lit TVs fail faster than other TVs, and that is because of the edge lit itself, because the heat that is generated from edge lit TV is not evenly distributed at all. It gets concentrated at the bottom, at the top, and from there the TV's panel gets impacted, the diffuser starts to get melted, and that is the worst TV. You should never purchase an edge lit TV in the present market. And LG and Samsung are still selling those TVs in Indian market, so be careful. Do not get scammed by this edge lit TV. Even if you get a LG Samsung, they are guaranteed to fail. But just after the warranty period, you'll find some issues with it, and then you'll be left with the huge bill for repairing that TV, and which will again fail eventually, because the technology itself is such that it cannot last for more than 2 years. So never purchase a HD TV. That is the other main findings from this test. Okay, so apart from this, the other thing that I loved about this TV is the color reproduction. So this TV, without any configuration, this TV provides a very natural colors, not saturated at all. They look like lifelike images, and you find that the colors are excellent, exceptional. This is because of the QLED technology that they have used, and as well as the software optimization that they have done. You don't require to recalibrate it. I have not touched the color settings of this TV, and they are excellent from out of the box. And this has been confirmed by several experts. You can check those videos out. I'll link them down in the video description. So there's no extra saturation in the images, and the reds, the blues all look like lifelike. And if you are not you do not like that kind of colors, you can obviously change the setting, because this is a Google TV, and that is one of the other great advantage of this TV, having a Google TV, which Sony provides, Sony Bravia 2 provides. But again, LG, Samsung, they'll give you a very closed ecosystem. Their operating system is very restrictive, and you cannot do any customizations like that is possible with your Google TV OS. So if you are a power user, you should simply skip Samsung and LG. If you are using your own media library to watch on your TV, Google TV is the best OS for that. And especially in this particular C6K model, I find that they have allowed the customer to do ample amount of customization. They have not locked the OS at all. By unlocking the developer mode, you can also enable the feature that any app can access all the files on your USB drive. In developer option, there is this particular setting that is available in this particular model, which is very good for the price point you are getting it. And apart from the picture quality and this customization option, the other thing is that you get 3 GB RAM and 32 GB of internal storage. And some people have complained that you get only 22 GB of usable space, and that is true. But I'll show you basically all the details. So this is a detailed specs which I am seeing using this software. AIDA64 is available on Google Play Store. You can also install it. So you can see in this, it shows installed RAM 2.5 GB. So you'll say that it markets as 3 GB, but you are showing only 2.5 GB. And the reason for this mismatch is because RAM is also counted in the GPU side. So the GPU RAM is not being shown over here. And the GPU RAM is available separately. This particular app does not show it. This is only the RAM that is available generally for all the apps. But 0.5 GB is the storage available for GPU processing. So total GPU RAM plus the CPU RAM, that the general purpose RAM, is 3 GB. Apart from this, you can see in this installed storage total space, it's showing as 20.53 GBs. And I've also connected a pen drive, that's why it's showing this pen drive. But this 20.53 GB is the total internal storage. And the reason for this mismatch, like it shows 32 GB, but it claims 32 GB, but it's only showing 20.53 GB. That reason is because they have reserved that 10 GB of extra storage as a RAM, basically for caching. This particular feature of using the storage as a RAM is quite good for this particular TV. Because of that, all the apps that you run on your TV stays in the memory. And because 2.5 GB is the actual RAM, but if you increase that by 10 GB, even big apps like Netflix, Jio, Hotstar, all those apps will stay in the memory, and it will only get removed when the 12 GB of RAM is completely exhausted. So I think that that is quite good that they have done, that they have added that 10 GB of space as a caching space that is used as RAM. It's not that fast, but it helps in decreasing the app loading time quite a lot. So this is the internal specs. Apart from this, if you look at the CPU, it shows as Cortex A73. It is a 4-core CPU and it's clocked at around 14 MHz. This is basically MediaTek's Pentonic 700, and this is quite a capable CPU. It's mid-range CPU. MediaTek Pentonic 1000 is the flagship level CPU. So this is below that, but it's still quite capable CPU. And I found that the app launches and the playback, 4K playback, anything, I did not find any lag or stutter because of the CPU basically. So the CPU and the RAM, storage, everything is quite good in this TV for the budget. Always keep in mind, this is not like a ultra flagship level TV. This comes at a budget price, and compared to that budget, they are certainly over delivering at this price point. Now, apart from all this hardware specification, they also provide very good software licensing agreements. You get HDR10 and you get Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, all the possible high definition video licenses they have got for this TV, and they have licensed it. But the issue is the TV's brightness is 600 nits. That is the peak HDR brightness is 600 nits, and for all these high bitrate, high HDR content, it's ideal to have a 1000 nit peak brightness TV. So what that difference causes is, in the HDR content, if you watch Dolby Vision or HDR10 content, HDR10 plus content, then that video will appear a bit dimmer compared to a TV which has got a higher brightness, like which comes at 1 lakh range. So yes, you cannot compare it with a TV which costs 1 lakh or around 90,000 with almost half the price TV. But this is the only disadvantage, and that because of the lower brightness, you will not get that peak brightness from HDR content, because that requires a higher peak brightness range, which this TV does not have. But for normal non-HDR content, you will not find that the brightness is low. In fact, I always run my TV with around 50% brightness. And there's a detailed settings video for this TV. If you have not watched that, yeah, I'll link it down in the video description. Also, I'll provide you a I button. You can check that out. So I'll show you the picture settings. So this is the brightness. You can see this is 50% brightness, and this is more than enough. my room is lit by around 60 watts of light at present. 3 tube lights are there, 20 watts. So this is quite good, very bright TV compared to Sony TV, which is around 300 nits. This is almost double that brightness. So you can compare, and that particular brightness is also not like it is focused. You can get that punches of color because of the mini LED TV, which I spoke in the beginning. So overall, it's a very, very good TV from the picture point of view. And from the sound point of view also, the sound speaker, they claim to be a inbuilt buffer TV, but the buffer is not that good. The base of the audio will not be like a soundbar level speaker, but the dialogue clarity is very nice, and that is actually equivalent to what you will get from a Sony speaker, which is much better than LG Samsung speakers. You are getting top-notch quality from the sound at this price point. Again, price point always matters. So if you are thinking that you'll get a soundbar quality of audio, no, then that's not the case. The bass is not that high in this TV. And apart from that, there's one more con. The settings that comes inbuilt in the sound is not that good. And I had to change the settings for this TV, but you can correct it. That is the pro of this. Now let's look at the cons. And since this, I've used the TV for 1 month, and these are the main cons that I faced in this TV. The first main con that several people have complained is regarding the motion processing. The default setting that comes with this TV causes a lot of judder, and there is motion blur also, but the main issue is the judder problem. You can see my settings, and I've enabled motion clarity, and it's enabled at 9.9, and then you get this kind of quality, which is quite good. But if you switch it off, which is the default setting which it comes with, you can see you'll see that the motion is not smooth, and there's a lot of vibration in the picture. In this also you'll see, you can remove this, and as you can see, it might not get captured from the camera, but as I'm seeing it, I'm seeing a lot of motion blur as well as vibration in the images, and that is because of the poor motion handling that comes by default on this TV. But you can fix it by simply turning on the motion clarity to custom and setting it to 9. That reduces this motion and judder issue as well as the motion blur issue. Apart from this, another issue is of upscaling. You can see this is a SD content. It's not 720p also. And you can see there is a lot of noise in this particular video because the noise reduction feature is not working. Even if you turn it on, it does not work. But for a SD video, this TV does a very bad job. Even the motion handling is very poor in SD video compared to a full HD videos. So this is again around, you can see it's basically a 550 pixel video, and there is, if you look closely, you will find pixelations almost everywhere. But so compared to Sony, the upscaling is poor. So you can see there's details are pixelated, and this is comparatively better. I've seen a worse result. I'm not able to show that kind of video at present because of the copyright issue, but in TV where we see streaming content, whether this is a recorded file, so that's why I think it's getting a better processing on this. And since I'm playing it through a laptop, there's some bit of better processing happening. But if you watch it straight through the Google TV's app, you will find even a worse result in upscaling area. So the same video in 4K, you can see how much clearer it is, and certainly you will not expect SD content to get upscaled to 4K, but from the software point of view, they have to improve. And again, you will see that judder is present quite a lot in this also. And this is again one more problem with this TV, that the motion handling does not work for external devices. It only works for inbuilt apps. So that is one more thing that you want to keep in mind, especially if the device is not supporting the motion handling. Like in my case, I'm connected to laptop, so motion handling does not work in a laptop, and it might work for streaming devices like Apple TV. People have suggested that Apple TV works good, but for laptop, the motion handling, it does not work even if it shows it's on. Apart from this, one more issue is the bloatware, and I'll provide you detailed debloating guide for this TV. It will be general TCL debloating guide, so make sure to subscribe to my channel to get that video. Basically, the TV is filled with a lot of apps which are not required, and I'll show you the apps which I have disabled. So this TV comes with a lot of pre-installed apps. You can see I've disabled Google TV, AirPlay, the features which I do not use, I have disabled it. But apart from this, also there are a lot of inbuilt apps like Setup Wizard, Gallery, and TCL Channel, T Solo. So all these apps really makes the TV very slow, and they consume a lot of RAM, which causes apps to stop loading in the background. Like even the 10 GB of extra RAM does not allow the TV to keep other apps in the memory. So these apps run in the background and they consume a lot of RAM. So you have to disable them. So this can be fixed, but by default, with the TV ships with all these bloatware apps, which in my opinion are not required, and you can disable them quite easily from using this app, ADB TV. So after disabling this particular apps, the TV works fine. Other problem that I discussed before was the low HDR brightness. So 600 is the maximum peak brightness of this. So in HDR contents, and your TV image will not look that bright. Apart from that, again, one more comparison from a Sony Bravia 2 is Sony Bravia 2 is a IPS LCD panel, whereas this is an HVA panel. So the viewing angles of this is not comparable to IPS panel. If you are planning to watch from a very wide sitting area, this TV is not recommended, because if you watch it from an angle which is more than 15 degrees, then the colors will start changing, the brightness will start reducing. But the color that you get from like at 45-degree angle is almost equivalent to what you'll get from a Sony Bravia 2 because of the low brightness of that TV. So it's not like you'll get a better experience watching Sony Bravia 2, but the best experience that you'll get from this TV, that is from directly watching either directly in front or at the most 15 degrees from the angle. So the viewing experience decreases, but it does not decrease to that extent that it becomes worse than Sony Bravia 2's display qualities. One more con is the after sales service, and I've watched several YouTube videos where people have complained about in general TCL's customer service, but for this particular model also, if you look at the Amazon's review section, 1-star review section, you'll find that several people have complained that they got a defective product, or the product got defective after a couple of months. And when they tried to file a complaint with the TCL company to get it replaced or repaired, the response was very late, and they delayed the complaint processing quite a lot. Like for 1 month, they had to wait for the repair or replacement to arrive. And when the replacement arrived, this particular customer said that the TV delivered was not in very good condition. You can see the panel is not being aligned properly. There's a gap between the body. So basically, the after sales service from TCL in India at present is still poor, even if the TV quality is good. If normally what happens is in an electronic goods, there is like a 10% chance for TV to fail, for TV or for that matter any device to fail within the warranty period. So like in this case, the warranty is 2 years. So there is normally a 10% chance based on random problems with electronic hardware that the TV will require a warranty claim within the 2 years period. So you have to take that risk with buying this TV, that you have to keep in mind that the warranty provided by the company will not be very responsive. Like you'll have to complain multiple times, then only they will start processing your warranty claim process. And you have to be very persuasive to get your work done. So that is one of the biggest con. That is not the case with other brands, at least for major faults. Then also the brand is not that keen in fixing it. So that is a cause of concern. So when you're planning to purchase this, keep this in mind, that the after sales service is not that great compared to the major TV manufacturer like LG, Sony, Samsung. If you have got a budget of 45,000 and you're looking for a TV that is 55-inch or even a 65-inch version, if you have got a higher budget like 55,000 or 65,000, if it comes in sale, then you'll get it at around 55 to 60,000 range. But if you are looking for a best budget mini LED TV in this price range, then TCL C6K is the best TV at present. That is in 2025 at least. I think there will no other TV that will be comparable in features as well as in quality of the display. So this is a feature packed TV which comes at a very excellent price range, and I got a very good experience purchasing this TV from Flipkart. In one day, they delivered the product. If you like this video, smack that like button, share this video with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, HowISolve.com. I'll be providing more tech tips regarding TCL C6K. So if you are already bought it or you're planning to buy it, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I'll be also adding a debloating guide and also sharing several other quirks that I found with this TV and how you can fix it. So thanks for watching, friends. This is Neil signing off. Bye bye.